Hello, Shervon here, back with another painting tutorial. This time we will be painting a painting that I did digitally called Peach Mood. So let's get started. Alright, of course, to begin you're going to need a canvas. I have a 16 by 20 canvas, 3 brushes, a small, medium, and a large, paper towels, a cup for water or a jar, and you're going to need pencil or chalk, whichever one you prefer to use. I'm using chalk for the sake of the video, and an eraser if you are using a pencil. Okay, we are using primary colors, and I'm going to start with yellow and red to make it a little orange, and we're going to add a little dab of blue to make that brownish color. This is how we're going to get our brown and paint the whole entire canvas with this color. So keep mixing, adding reds and yellows and blues until you get a perfect color that you want for pretty much your skin color. And just paint the entire canvas this brown color that you made. Even though it looks a little red, it's a little reddish brown. But whatever color you choose to make, add more yellow or white to lighten up the skin tone, and a little bit more blue to darken the skin tone, but not too much, okay? More red if it's too greenish. And once we finish painting this entire canvas with our brown color, we will need to let it dry completely. Sometimes I unhook it from the easel to get the very top and the very bottom of the canvas. And you can also paint your sides at this time, but that's completely optional. Once our canvas is completely dry, I'm gonna either wait till the next day or use a blow dryer to make sure it's dry, and then I'm gonna sketch out the grid. I am using a piece of chalk, but you can use a pencil and eraser. I'm using a chalk for the sake of the video so you guys can see clearly. So whatever you choose to use, we're going to draw these series of lines, starting with a vertical line up and down through the center of the canvas, and then a horizontal line across the middle of the canvas from left to right. And so we're going to draw another horizontal line underneath that one, and just eyeballing this, and then another one throughout the top part of the canvas. So we already have one vertical line up and down, and we have 3 horizontal lines going across. And now we're going to draw 2 more vertical lines up and down, cutting the 2 halves of the canvas in another half. So these are not exact squares, but we are eyeballing it this time. So if you just are doing it the same way on a 16 by 20 canvas, you should come out with pretty similar results. So not completely squares, but they are a little rectangulish here, but it should still turn out fine. So 2 more vertical lines, and then we have our grid. We will begin sketching her face, starting with a U shape for the nose, the very tip of the nose, bottom, and then we will do a set of parentheses on the sides to be the very sides of her nose. And this is on the second row of the grid, and it's in the center vertical line. It's on that line in the center vertical line, as you can see if you look at the reference at the top right corner. Next, we have another U shape for the very top of the lip, and then we will have another center line for the center of her lips. As you can see, I curved that center line down towards the corner sides of her mouth, and we're going to connect this line up and over to touch that U shape that we do for the very top of her lip. Do the same thing for the other side. Now, I know that the very bottom of her lip line will touch the middle center horizontal line. So I'm going to start a little line there, and I'm just going to connect that to the corners of that center line that I made for her lips on each side. And now we move on to her chin, which is another curved line, and we're going to do just a series of little curved lines to finish the outline of her face. And then we will move on to the glasses. Okay, we will start her glasses on the bridge of her nose with a curved line going down to outline the rim of her glasses, and we will continue these curvy lines to finish off her glasses. Perfect. Now we will do the inside part of our glasses where the lens will be, and this will be just kind of following the curve of the outline of the glasses, and do the same for both sides. Okay, when you finish that, take a step back and look and see if you're pleased with the outcome, and then we will move on to her eyebrows. Okay, and these are just more little curved lines, and just follow along. I'm gonna have to move the easel top to finish those lines, but we don't have the full eyebrows inside because the glasses are covering them up, but just draw these little curved lines, and if you need more space, then lift up your canvas, the easel, like me, and finish that out. And then we move on to her ears, which are usually parallel to where the nose ends, and on the side of her face, and I'm going to connect that C shape on up to the side of the temples where her glasses will sit on. And you will do the same for the other side. So there is a small mark that will be the end of her hair at the very top of the canvas, and finish that ear. And then we will also have a little V shape, upside down V shape for the insides of her ear on both sides. And the hard part is over. We will finish her neck, which is a line almost straight down, curving inward. And then on the other side, do pretty much the same thing. I like to look at the reference because it kind of gives me an idea of where we're going. And then we'll finish her clothing, which is a curving line going out from the center towards the end, off the canvas. Now it is time to erase my grid so that I don't get confused when we start tracing the actual image we're going to paint. So I just have a small paintbrush with a little water, and I'm going to erase all the grid lines. And if you used a pencil, just use your eraser and erase all those grid lines so we can get to tracing these lines. And now we take our small brush, dip it in a little black paint, a little water if you need to, and we will just outline the entire sketch we just took forever doing. And so grab your brush, a little bit of water, a little bit of black paint, and just outline the entire sketch on the canvas that you just did. now I'm going to take my medium brush and make a darker skin color because we're going to begin painting in some shadowy areas. So our skin tone, adding a little bit of blue to make it even more darker, and a little bit of red if it's too light greenish. So skin tone that you had, a little more blue and a little more red. And we're going to paint in our shadows. So the first shadow we're going to paint is right underneath the chin on the neck. Now I still have the medium brush, and we're going to paint some shadowy darker areas on her nose, so just on the sides of her nose, and little spots underneath her nose and where her nostril will be, and on the side to just bring in some shadowy areas. And I know it's hard to see, but if you can take a look at the reference and see where I'm going at the top right. And it may be easier to switch and get the smaller brush, which I'm about to do, to get some of those fine detail areas, and just adding in some darker areas to make the nose stand out a little bit more. Moving on to the shadow areas underneath her sunglasses. And now we will fill in her eyebrows with the same dark mixture that we just made. There is a dark shadowy line right underneath the bottom of her lip. We will use this color for that, and for some of the shadowy areas in the center of her lips and the very top. Next, we will add some of this color to her ears. Now we want to take our small brush and dip it into our black, and we're going to add in some of the darker areas on her nose where her nostrils will be, and do a little bit of outlining here. And we will do a little bit of the outlining on some of her lips. Our next step is to paint some of the highlighted areas on her face. So we're going to make another mixture with the original skin tone color that we made, which is pretty much the background color. We're going to add a little bit of yellow, a little bit of white to brighten that color up and start painting the highlighted areas on her face. Taking our medium brush, we're going to take that highlighted skin tone color and paint a small mark down the middle of her nose and a little small mark on both sides of her nose. There's also a small area right above her lips. And now I'm going to clean and dry the small brush and just do a little blending of the paint that I just put down. I'm going to take my medium brush and make a little bit more of the highlighted mixture, which is the skin tone with a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white, and add that highlighted mixture to some of the larger areas on her face, like the chin and the cheeks. After I finish painting in those little areas, I'm just going to take the regular skin tone color and just go in around those highlighted areas. So just whatever is left of her face, and just kind of do a little blending with that. So keeping the highlighted areas highlighted, and then in between blending in the regular skin tone color. So going over the background with the regular, just another coat of the skin tone color. But it should have some leftover highlighted skin tone color, so it'll be a slightly different color. I am doing the same thing for the neck, the highlighted colors and then the regular skin tone colors, and just blending all that around. And now I'm going to go in and add even more highlights on her face, mixing with just a little bit more white on the cheeks and on the chin and in the other highlighted areas. And as you can see, I'm doing this very loosely. I want the paint brush strokes to show. Now we are going to move on to her lips, which is a peachy pinkish kind of color. It's just white, red, and a tiny dab of yellow. Now take your small brush. We're going to take it with a little bit of the lipstick color and a little bit of white and adding in some highlights on her lips. Now I'm going in with my darker skin tone color and adding in some small darker details on her lips with my small brush. A really dark color that I'm going to just add in some even darker areas, not all the way black, but the skin tone just really added a little bit of black to it. And I'm going to go over the eyebrows, and then I'm going to just take straight black and paint the little sides of her hair that's hardly visible. And now we will take straight black and fill in the lenses on her glasses. And now we're going to move on to her clothing. So on her top, I'm going to have that lipstick color, that pinkish peach color we made, and just add in some brush strokes along the collar of her top. And so now we're going to make this mixture for the blue that is for her sunglasses and her top. So it's a little bit of blue, a little white. I'm adding in a little bit of yellow to make it a little bit on the greener side. And then just a small dab of black. When you get that desired color, blue color you like, you just want to throw those brush strokes on there. Just not in any specific way, but just touch up her clothing with that color. And I wanted it a little bit darker, so I just added a little dab of black, and I'm gonna go in on her glasses next. Just like that, and I'm going to leave a little bit of room for the purple part of her shades. We're going to go in and make our purple mixture, which of course is red and blue, and you can lighten it or darken it with either white or add more blue. So make our purple mixture, and this is what I'm going to add to her glasses and a little bit on her clothing. make a little bit more of that pink mixture, which is like a peachy color, and I'm gonna add that to her blouse. Now it's time to move on to the background color. I am choosing to use yellow, and I'm going to take the color yellow with a little bit of white, make a mixture. You can use whatever color you want. You can also fill in the entire background, but I'm just going to do a nice outline of the image that we painted. I really love the way this yellow just makes this painting pop. So I would love to see what other color choices you guys choose to use. Okay guys, we're almost done. We have a few more final steps. We're going to take the very small brush, dip it in your white, and add some highlights to the final piece. And that'll be on her glasses, on her lipstick, and any other little areas you want to make just pop out even more. And now we move on to our final step. Take your tiny brush, clean it, dip it into the black, and you need to add your signature. All done. And I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know what other images you would like to paint. And remember to be true to yourself and let your light shine.